In the top stories, Prime Minister Drew highlights investments made in national security. CARICOM faces threat to exploit resources, and South Africa says Palestinians are enduring extreme form of apartheid. Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Today is Wednesday, 21st February 2024. I'm Scotticia Hendrickson. Nationally, a number of investments have been made to improve the national security apparatus in St. Kitts and Nevis. This according to Prime Minister and Minister of National Security, the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew.
We have the full complement of the High Command for the first time in about 8 years, at least 7 years, where we now have a commissioner, a deputy commissioner, the 3 ACPs, but we have added a 4th ACP. And we are now going to make community policing a fundamental part of policing here in St. Kitts and Nevis. And you have seen the officers out, you have seen other people reporting on it. All the time we speak about policing the community and community policing. We have taken it a step further, adding an extra ACP and making community policing a fundamental part of policing here in St. Kitts and Nevis. That we started the canine unit in its full complement. We have brought in new canine specimens, dogs in simple terms. They have been trained and they are now on the job to help to deal with the issue of national.
Dr. Drew says the government is also pursuing a technological aspect to fight crime.
We have also opened up a technological aspect to policing, which is also incorporating AI technology so that we can detect and solve crimes, but more importantly, help to prevent crimes from taking place. We have also employed the use of polygraph to make sure that those who serve are serving with the highest level of integrity. Of course, I don't question anyone's integrity, but it was deemed necessary to engender more confidence in the public that those who serve are serving with the highest integrity.
Prime Minister and Minister of National Security, Honorable Dr. Terence Drew. A Council of Ministers of Sports across the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, OECS, is expected to establish in a few months' time, says Director Jules, Dr. Didicus Jules. Dr. Didicus Jules spoke on this in addressing a question at the 74th Heads of Government meeting of the OECS Authority held in St. Kitts and Nevis on February 15th. The Council will collectively seek to improve sports in the region, drawing on assistance from each member. Dr. Jules explained what is envisioned.
We are actually going to be having a meeting or inaugurating a Council of Ministers of Sport in the next couple months. And in preparation for that, we are liaising with the sporting associations across the OECS so that they are aware of that initiative and that they themselves are in a state of preparedness, because the approach we will be taking is to rely on the established sporting and recognized sporting associations to come to the meeting to dialogue with the ministers of sport, to put on the table their proposals of how we can improve sports in the region, not so much by asking governments for more money, but by proposing the conditions and the support required to enable sport to really flourish.
He highlighted commitments from countries such as St. Lucia and Guadeloupe going into this arrangement.
Additionally, some of the member states have already made certain offers. So St. Lucia, for example, has a sports academy which could be available for boosting sporting talent in the OECS. Guadeloupe has a high-performance center for Olympic preparation. And again, as you know, there is the Express des Îles ferry that moves across most of the OECS. So it will be relatively cheap to get persons, Olympic teams preparing for the Olympics to go to Guadeloupe for a period of time to prepare themselves in that high-performance center.
According to Dr. Jules, this council is also expected to influence sporting policies and such frameworks.
We expect that with the formation of the Council of Ministers of Sport, there is going to be a lot of attention paid on a more systematic approach to sports, a more participatory role for the sporting associations in defining sporting policy across the OECS, and a more determined effort on our part to secure scholarships and opportunities for sport internationally for our sporting talent.
Dr. Didicus Jules speaking during a press conference of the 74th Head of Government's meeting of the OECS Authority held in St. Kitts last week. 9 bills will receive their first reading when the National Assembly meets at Government Headquarters in Basse-Terre on Thursday at 10 a.m. The Honorable Prime Minister and Minister responsible for Finance, National Security, Citizenship and Immigration, Health and Social Security, Dr. Terence Drew, will seek leave to introduce and have read a first time the bills entitled Medical Laboratories Bill 2024, Anti-Smuggling Bill 2024, Immigration Amendment Bill 2024, and Housing and Social Development Levy Amendment Bill 2024. Additionally, the Honorable Prime Minister will also move the second reading of the Housing and Social Development Levy Amendment Bill 2024. Also, the Honorable Attorney General and Minister responsible for Justice and Legal Affairs, Gath Wilkin, will seek leave to introduce and have read a first time the bill entitled Freedom of Information Amendment Bill 2024, Ombudsman Amendment Bill 2024, and Copyright Bill 2024. Further, the Honorable Prime Minister responsible for Tourism, Civil Aviation, International Transport, Employment and Labor, and Urban Development, Masha Henderson, will seek leave to introduce and have read a first time the bill entitled National Productivity Council Bill 2024, while the Honorable Senator and Minister responsible for Sustainable Development, Environment and Climate Action and Constituency Empowerment, Dr. Joel Clark, will seek leave to introduce and have read a first time the bill entitled Architects Registration Amendment Bill 2024. The National Assembly will be carried live on ZIZ Radio 96 FM and participating radio stations. It can also be viewed live on TV Channel 5 in St. Kitts and Channel 98 in Nevis. It would also be streamed live at www.zizonline.com. Copies of bills can be found on sknis.gov.kn of the St. Kitts and Nevis Information Service under the sections titled Bills. In regional news, Energy